Hi there, this is Devil Warrior, and in this video I'm going to be showing more of my Game of Thrones collection. In this particular video, the Game of Thrones Jon Snow and Ghost statue. So this is the box right here. But to put it in perspective, basically this is my hand right here, right? And my hands aren't by all means small, but as you can see this box is huge. If I put it on my chair, it's as big as my chair literally. But for good reason, the statue, comes well packaged. And the actual statue is separate. I'll explain that in a second though. But anyways, if I turn over the box, on the top of it, by the way, it says Game of Thrones. Over here it says the Night's Watch vows. So night gathers and my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife, hold no lands, etc. Here are the little different angles. It shows you the angles on the back of the box in case you want to get a view. But I will show you the actual figure. Here are the vows again. And on the bottom of the box, just a little barcode and stuff, just to, scan, I suppose. And also you get the certificate of authenticity, and as it says here, it's number 116 of the 695 made, because there are actually only 695 made in this particular edition. Just like the dragons, there's a limited amount of these, but apart from there's even a smaller amount of these than there are the dragons. So the dragons, what is there, like 1,200 I think I might have said? Not too sure, I'm not 100% sure right now. Got to take out one of these dragon fins. Yeah, there were 1,250 dragons. So there were almost half of these made than there were those dragons individually, because this is pretty huge and it's really nicely sculpted. And basically, here it is. Here's the actual statue. Let me get some more focus on this. As you can see, it's not quite as big as the box, but the reason the box is so huge is because this actually doesn't come attached. The detail on it is crazy. I'll try and get a good view. So as you can see, this is Jon Snow's face. It actually looks like... My camera isn't the greatest one. I am using my phone camera since I normally do recording on my computer, as people who watch my channel probably know. But yeah, this is it is much better quality than this. But as you can see it from this camera anyway, his face looks quite good. The quality is actually crazy. Here's the sword. Got the little bottle bit here. Trying to get focus on it. Right. And it is pretty boss. Here's Ghost. On the back. I'll turn this around so you can see. It's out of focus right now. I'm just going to turn it around anyway. And this is how it looks from the back angle. Like that. It's pretty huge. And it is scaled. I think all the statues are scaled to size. So if I put the dragon on Jon Snow's shoulder, as I might mention in another video, it would actually be pretty accurate. And I've got the Arya Stark and Tyrion ones, and they're much smaller than Jon Snow. So they're actually scaled all pretty accurately. I think they're all scaled towards each other. Hopefully they'll do some more of these. I think there's only about 3 statues they've actually got, except from the dragons. Now, yeah, basically what I wanted to explain was this. The reason the box is so huge is because this head is actually detachable. I'm not going to take it off now, but the head of Jon Snow, believe it or not, actually did not come as part of the body. So the head is one part, the cape on the other hand is another part. So you could actually take this off if you wanted to. I won't do it now because that will require taking off Jon Snow's head, which, you know what, I could probably do. Right, so now we have headless Jon Snow. Here's his head. Well, that's that interesting. And his actual cape can come off now. Basically, the head keeps the cape in place, and once the cape comes off, it looks quite cool without the cape on. Yeah, he looks definitely much skinnier, but anyway, yeah. So the head is one part, which is actually magnetic. So once you slot this in, you see this? It goes in a certain angle. I'm just going to quickly slot that in. Once you slot it in, it's magnetic. So that was kind of hard to pull out. So the head's one part, the body's one part, the cape is another part. The fourth part is the sword. This actual sword here, it's like a really thin little handle you have to put in here. I ended up, after putting the handle in, gluing it just in case it snapped because the handle is that thin. It really... That was the only downside of the statue, the fact that the handle that you have to push it in with is so small. It really pissed me off because I'm like, what the fuck? That handle is probably going to snap. So I glued it just in case that happens. Because obviously I want to be able to move this around and stuff. And then Ghost is not glued on at all. Because this is put in with this little fin. I don't know what they're called. I don't do reviews on statues and stuff, but someone else will probably know. You would just slot it in basically. Like little fins on the feet, like the head basically, you just slot it in like that. So this is Ghost. Ghost is pretty huge. It's actually really cool that you can take him off as well. If I were to, I'll get you a better angle on him, show you his face. So yeah, Ghost looks pretty badass. and he's actually pretty heavy. If I were to put him like this, you can kind of see his height. It's pretty much the same as Jon Snow's. And he does feel really nice. Like he is like really big, and he just easily slots into these, like, as you can see, there's little bits in the ground. You basically just slot him in there. So he's probably the easiest guy. He's the only one, and oh yeah, he comes complete by the way. Like none of him is actually separately attached. Jon Snow was all nicely like cased and stuff, and all the different parts were like you know, all easily assembled. Apart from the sword, which had that really thin handle, which I was worried about. As I said before, that's the reason I glued it in. Oh, let me show you more over this side of him. Right, last thing is under the base there is something that's going to be really hard to show you without lifting it up, and so what I'm going to try and do is, right, let me take Ghost off real quick, and let me try and push this back a little bit without trying to make Jon Snow fall. As you can see, basically on the bottom, it's got a nice Game of Thrones sign, and yet again it does say 116 under there. It's quite hard because it's pretty heavy. It's a pretty heavy statue, which I quite like. It's quite a sturdy statue. Anyway, it just basically says the number, you know, just to prove yet again what number it is. It says 116 underneath, and it says Game of Thrones. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is pretty much the Jon Snow statue. Sorry, I've got a cold. Makes it hard for me to breathe. You know, I can't breathe through my nose right now. Breathing through my mouth. When I'm speaking, I'm breathing through the mouth so quickly because I'm trying to condense everything I'm saying in such a short space of time. Even though this video's went on to 7 minutes, yeah, it makes it hard to breathe. Anyway, this is the Jon Snow statue. I hope this video really helped showing you what this guy looks like. It's a really nice statue. It's quite expensive though. I think if you were going to get it, you can get it for at least £200 on eBay. Whether you trust the sellers and buyers on there is a completely different story. But yeah, that's probably the cheapest place you could get them from. Or probably if you buy it off your cousin or something that has one. But there's not many of them made. Better to buy it earlier than later because obviously the limited edition statues later in life normally cost more money, especially if you leave them in the box, which I didn't do because I just wanted to have this guy on display because I love Jon Snow. Anyway, yeah, so thanks for watching this video if you have, and laters.